Hey there, Prairie Plant Girl here. Today I'm going to be doing some planting in my greenhouse, but I wanted to start here to show you these beautiful first spring blooms. The dog's blocking them, so let me, he's trying to show you his best angle here, but let me, I'll move the camera over and you can see I have some beautiful crocus, kind of the regular like Dutch crocus that you would purchase as the little corms, and then I have some native prairie crocus. So let's have a look because they're just beautiful, and I love this time of year when the spring flowers start to emerge. Buster likes them too. Oh, and there's a bumblebee. Look at that. Even bumblebees enjoy the crocuses. It's part of why I love these early spring flowers that come out. It gives all those pollinators something to enjoy. So there's the pasque flower, or that's the native prairie crocus right there. It's a beautiful pink variation. They also come as a purple. And then these are the ones you would order as the corms and bulbs that I think come originally, I think they're originally a Dutch grown flower. Then over here, oh, the bumblebee's on this one now, but there's a white crocus there with the purples. And then there's, I believe this is Puskinia. Let me see if I can adjust the camera so you can get a better look at those little dainty flowers there. They're just beautiful. They're just tiny, tiny little flowers. There's another patch of crocus down the way, so let's have a quick look at those. A few coming up here. This is going to be some more pasque flower here. It's just taking a little longer to come up at this part of the yard, and there's another one just over there. Some of my native plants that I purchased and grew last year are coming up, but look at these crocus here. Oh, they're so pretty. They don't last for very long, but I love them. So my space is slowly starting to come alive here in April in Saskatchewan, Canada, but it's just a real windy, blustery day. Hopefully the audio's been okay while I've been out here, but we're gonna go in the greenhouse and do some planting of some more flowers in there. And hopefully this week the wind dies down and we'll get out in the garden and plant some cool, hardy crops out there. But today I think I feel like just being in the greenhouse out of the wind. I have lots of things out here on benches and pots and that. These actually stayed out here last night, overnight, and they're just hardening off. They've been out a little bit every day for the last week, and they're looking really good. It's supposed to get down close to freezing tonight and the next couple of nights, so I might just throw a frost blanket over them, but they're looking pretty good here. And here I have some flowers, but I also have some lettuces and cabbage or broccoli, cauliflowers, that kind of thing in here that I want to get out into the garden. But the flea beetles have already found things. And if you can see the little black dots on there and the little tiny holes, that's flea beetle damage. Okay, but our project is waiting for us in there. I've been slowly moving things out to the greenhouse. As they get a little bit bigger and stronger. Those petunias, they've been out here for quite a while. And over here, the glads and the crocosmia that I've started to pre-sprout, and you can see that some of the glads are starting to actually sprout there. I probably need to put a little bit more moisture on the soil there for the crocosmia. It looks really dry anyways. Let's see if there's any roots. No roots coming yet, but they'll come. So I'll probably start some more glads soon here. Oh, it's much warmer in here than it is outside, especially when you take that wind out of the equation. But it's 17 outside and it's 27 in here, even though I had a fan going. I'll have to open up the top of the door. It's a, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a Dutch door in the greenhouse here, so I can open up this top half and let the air move through here a bit more. So when I'm done, I'll pop that open. But for now, just unzip a little bit and I'll show you what I'm going to be working on today. some of this is kind of far behind. I'm not sure why I hadn't started them yet. They weren't on my list at all, so I'm not sure what happened with that. They just slipped through the cracks. But I'm gonna get some Rudbeckia going. It's a little bit late, considering that any that had dropped seeding would just be naturally growing outside. They will just be getting going now. Anyways, I thought I'll start. So I have Prairie Sun and Denver Daisy, two that I grew last year and I really liked, and they're great for cut flowers. So I want to get a few more going of each of those. And then I have some Larkspur. This was just a free gift. You can see down there, free gift that was sent to me. And I thought, I don't know if I've ever grown Larkspur from seeds. I thought I'd give it a go and see how it turns out for me. And then I'm going to start a few poppies. You can just go and direct sow poppies, just sprinkle them around your space. And I've done that a lot in the last few years, but I thought I would just start a few in trays so that I can place them very specifically. Poppies aren't always recommended to grow in cells and then move around, but I've done it and it has worked well for me usually over the years, so I'm going to do that again. I have just a lot of saved seed in that baggie there. Poppy seed is so tiny, it just flies everywhere, so I have it in an actual plastic bag. And then I have, and this is a California Poppy Mikado. And then I have, I think there's some ladybird left in this pack here. Yeah. But you can see, I hope you can see the seeds in there. It's like little, I don't know, they're just tiny, tiny little grains. So I keep them in here because anything that I tried to save in a paper bag just flies all over the place. But I've just brought out one seed tray. I'm thinking a dozen to 18 of each of these things should be enough. So let's see if I do a dozen, a dozen, a dozen. That's the poppies all on one half. And then a dozen of the, each kind of Rudbeckia, and a dozen of the Larkspur. That should fill this whole tray. And let me just double check the growing information on the Larkspur, just to make sure that it doesn't need darkness or something that I won't be able to provide. No. Okay, so that's fine. And it says to start at 2 to 3 weeks before your average last frost, and I'm about 3 weeks now. We'll see where we wind up for our last frost, but this spring has been pretty warm, so I think we'll be right on that 2 to 3 weeks. Rudbeckia, like I said, I'm a little bit late on it. It should have been started at least a week ago, if not a couple weeks ago, but it'll be fine. And I should have some come back up because it is supposed to be perennial, but never quite know. I guess the Denver Daisy might not. It's only perennial in zones 5 to 9. I have written on here from what I'd looked up. Yeah, the poppies say to start 6 to 8 weeks, but I think I was just going to direct sow them. So that was if you're going to start them inside. Oh, the California poppy says 2 to 3 weeks, so that's fine. The ladybird I maybe should have gotten started earlier too, and then the mixed poppy, I don't know. Like I said, I usually just sprinkle my poppies around when it's damp outside in the spring and get them started that way, but we just really have not had a lot of moisture this spring. Everything is really, really dry. I'm already hand watering anything that I just think needs that extra moisture right now that we're not getting. So to try and keep seeds and seedlings damp outside, spread around my whole yard, is just going to be more than I really want to do right now. So we'll just plant her all up in here. I just have some seed sowing mix, and I did add 1 scoop of my compost potting mix that I purchased. And that's just to hold a little bit more moisture. Like I said, I'm planning on just leaving them out here. It's quite warm now, and these are all plants that should be able to handle even the coolish nights. And I think they'll be fine to germinate them that way out here. So I'm just gonna have them out here. So anyway, so I put that little bit of compost in just to make it a little heavier mix than the seed starting just peat moss. I put some moisture, I put some water in here when I mixed this up in the house, but it's feeling still pretty dry. So I might have to add a bit more water. See how it just kind of wants to crumble apart. It's not even really forming a ball. So I'm just gonna add a bit more water to this. Hopefully I didn't add too much now. Might be a little on the wet side now, but I think we'll be all right. So I'm just going to fill this tray up and then we'll get started. Okay, so I have my tray all filled up and I have my tags in, ready to go here. So we'll start with the saved poppy seed. And all of these seeds say to just cover them lightly in the instructions, so that's all I'll be doing. I'm just going to try and get the saved seed that's just loose in the bag here. And I'm just going to sprinkle. The poppy seed is so small, and all of them are like this for the poppies. So I'm just going to be sprinkling them on top quite liberally. I've saved the seed. Some of it'll probably be from last year, some of it'll be other years. And I'll just know I have to thin them out quite a bit. See if I can get these seeds back in this bag. Okay, and the next tag says the California poppy. And these tags, if you're ever wondering, I usually have a link in my seed starting videos down below. I just get them off Amazon and I reuse them over the years, and I just clean them off, whether I've used Sharpie or chalk marker. I just clean them off with rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol actually works quite well for that. Just a few more in here. So there's the McAdoo, slightly larger seed, but not much. So try and be a little more careful with how I place these, a couple in each cell. And I'm just going to use this seed up probably. Oh, maybe I'll have some left for next year. It looks like there's going to be more there than I thought. So we'll save a few for next year. They are supposed to keep coming back, but it's a California poppy, so it might not actually come back in my climate, I'm not sure. And then Ladybird, which is supposed to be red with a black center, and their seeds are very tiny. They're stuck to the label here. We'll see if I can just kind of scrape a few off and sprinkle them on like I did with my saved seed. And then, what do we have next? The Prairie Sun, which is the one I grabbed. Perfect. So, Rudbeckia. And I didn't actually open these to make sure there was seed. Maybe there's a reason I didn't plant these, because it's feeling empty. Wouldn't that be funny? Okay. Oh, there's a few seeds in here, it looks like. Maybe not a dozen. There's a couple. The Prairie Sun is just a beautiful, beautiful yellow Rudbeckia. So I'm just going to go and at first just put one seed on each cell, and then if I have enough to come and put a second one just as kind of a little insurance, I'll do that. But let's just get one on here for now. So there was 14 seeds. Two of them, a couple of them seemed like they're maybe not full seeds, might have been broken, so. And then the Denver Daisy, and this is like a yellow petal, but has like red splotches right at the center, I believe. And it was quite striking as well. And they're all just a little bit different looking from each other. And there might be even less in this than there was in the other one. Look at those seeds, bright yellow. It doesn't show up in the shade that you're in, but okay. Well, I might get a dozen out of that, so let's see. It did look like I had some Rudbeckia coming back up in my flower garden. When I was looking, there was some fuzzy little leaves coming up out of the ground, so I think that's the Rudbeckia, and I can't remember which one I had over in that area, so it'll be a surprise, or I'll have to look back through some videos or photos. So there's the Denver Daisy, and then the Larkspur. little round seed. So we'll try and get 2 in each cell. Like I said, it's just for insurance. I think I got 4 in one of those cells, but we'll see. Couple more. Whoa! Did I do these two? Rewatching? I can't remember, and I can't. It looks like there's seed in that one. Okay, we'll leave that. So, like I said, these all just said they wanted to be very lightly covered, like 1/8 of an inch or so. So I just have some vermiculite. It's just a medium vermiculite, and I'm just going to cover over them with that. I think it's the Ladybird Poppy, says if you're starting it indoors 4 to 6 weeks early to give it darkness, but if you're starting outside, you were just going to scatter it on the ground basically, or cover it lightly. So I'm not really worried about giving it darkness because I'm just going to have it out here. So it's kind of like putting it outside. I don't know, it seems like contradictory instructions to me. And I'm just going to spritz them down really well to get them nice and damp. So spraying them helps to dampen the vermiculite to hold moisture up at the seed level. And it also helps to settle the seeds down into the soil more. You see I didn't tamp the seeds down to make sure they had good contact with the soil. But adding this moisture on top will do that. Then I have a humidity dome that was underneath there. It's just gonna go on top. I may need to just leave it lifted a little bit, just so it doesn't get too hot in here out in the greenhouse. I'm not gonna set these right in the sun. I'm going to actually put them back on my workbench out of the sun a little bit, so they get the warmth of the greenhouse, but they won't be cooking, hopefully, in the sun. So I'll just stick them back here. Like I said, I'll just vent it a little bit just so they're getting not cooked right in there. There won't be too much heat building up, but it should still hold some of that moisture. And I'm out here at least a couple times every day so I can check on them and make sure that they're staying damp. And they should grow fine out here. I don't really have a concern with that. But that's I guess what I'm going to be getting done today as far as seeds sowing. And like I said, hopefully the wind settles down and maybe tomorrow we can go out and get the cool weather crops going. I would like to, I've already planted my carrots and some radishes and some parsnips direct sown in the ground, and I'd like to get some like beets and turnips and things like that going as well. So I will try to bring you along for that as long as I can, but if it's so windy like this, then there's not a lot of point to putting the camera out. You won't be able to hear anything. Thanks for coming along with me today to get some seed sowing started. We're almost at the end of the indoor seed sowing season and just into just planting things out in the yard. It's so exciting to see those spring flowers coming up, and there's lots of things that are just waiting to get planted out and waiting for the weather to just settle in the next few weeks and be, hopefully frost free. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.